Mr. Agnew.
Thank you, Chairman. Well, there's always a subplot now when the Commissioner comes to address the Agriculture Committee, and that subplot is me being updated on internal Irish politics, with the help of Mr. Flanagan and Mr. Carthy when he's here. So thank you very much. But he isn't the only one who can be a spanner in the works, because, as usual, I'm going to be a spanner in the works. I understand that according to parliamentary rules, we shouldn't actually be holding an Agriculture Committee meeting in a Strasbourg session. I might have got that wrong. Perhaps the rules have changed. But ultimately, the Secretariat will put me right on that. But more importantly, I've always understood that forestry was not a competence of the Commission. Agriculture is, we know that. But forestry, I am told, fairly reliably, is not within the Commissioner's competence. And so when he says that he wants to minimise red tape, well, I'm sure we all applaud that, but I can't help feeling that there shouldn't be any red tape at all, certainly as far as my country goes. But no doubt he will tell us about that, and I will relay the information to the Forestry Commission, who think they are responsible for the trees in my country, Great Britain. Now, he mentioned climate change, which is a new word for global warming, which never happened, and that cutting down all these trees and throwing them into biomass boilers is going to really save the day for us. But I got involved in this commercially, and I lost money on it. It actually cost more to harvest these willow coppice trees and transport them to the generator than they were worth. It was a real negative business financially and with the energy. And of course, actually, you should all be rejoicing in the fact that CO2 levels have risen, because all that means is that trees will grow faster. So there's no need to worry. Thank you.
The other issue, I think Mr. Agnew mentioned it in particular, we don't have a common forestry policy like we have a common agricultural policy, but we have a common forest strategy. And the reason why we need to ensure that we have a role to play, we give out 7.2 billion in rural development money for afforestation. So we have a responsibility to make sure that that is actually protected on behalf of the European taxpayer. But we do emphasise considerably the role of the member state in actually implementing our policy. And unless that it's not part of the treaties, and I don't propose that it should be part of the treaties, but I think that we do have an opportunity to create better value added, more jobs in rural areas than we are doing at the moment. And I think Commission Vice President Katainen is very anxious as part of the Juncker plan in countries that he would know best, I suppose, in Finland, where it would be very appropriate that major investment would be carried out there to create jobs that may not be easy to get jobs in other areas, in places like Finland. So I will not be making any proposal to have a common forestry policy in the traditional way of a common agricultural policy. But we do need a strategy in order to ensure that we're rolling out the monies in the best possible way to achieve the objectives that we're saying, and adopting the principle of subsidiarity will be key to that.